Thank you for your attention once again and for being a great class. We are continuing our lecture this week on subtext and meaning in Hitchcock's Rear Window. As there will be spoilers in this video, please do watch the film if you have not done so. Rear Window found Hitchcock in the second of his 3 collaborations with Grace Kelly, and the first of 4 collaborations with decorated screenwriter John Michael Hayes. Arguably, this film was both Kelly and Hayes' best with Hitchcock. Experimental movies are sometimes allegorical. Sometimes they are cryptic. Often they are personal. And Hitch was no stranger to experimenting, having done so very effectively in his silence and on a few prominent projects like Rope. In many ways, Rear Window is Hitch's great experiment. We as a class could analyze this as the third of a series of films that basically take place in the very arena that Hitch finds himself most comfortable, the home. The 3 films that we have discussed recently, Rope, Dial M for Murder, and Rear Window, take place primarily in a single location, the home, and in the Hitchcock home, there is great turmoil and strife. This film begins with an almost staggering relationship quarrel where Jeffries lays out the reasons why he cannot marry his well-positioned Upper East Side girlfriend. To Jeffries' detriment, he puts Lisa, who he clearly loves very much, on a pedestal such that even he cannot reach her. It is almost startling that the movie begins this way, since the plot seems to involve everything that happens in a completely different building, outside of Jeffries' apartment. Jeffries, who is clearly overanalyzing his relationship, finds solace in the comforting touch of Stella, played expertly by Thelma Ritter, who represents the older and wiser feminine voice, and who, herself being happily married, rightfully admonishes Jeffries for his neurotic perspective on Lisa Fremont. This sets the tempo for the rest of the film, where Lisa comes back to the apartment over and over again to reflect on the nature of their relationship against this tapestry of background characters. This backdrop is arguably a visualization, a visual timeline, if you will, to the different stages of a hypothetical relationship trajectory. The cast of characters that dot the landscape of the New York courtyard represent people at different stages of their relationship-driven lives. The honeymoon, youthful longing, domestic bliss, domestic strife, and abandonment. What everyone is saying on the internet is true. Rear Window's appeal is in its voyeurism, and it's great fun to see everything from Jeffries' point of view, but here's an alternate theory. This movie might be an allegory for Jeff's relationship anxiety. When watching this film today, it is hard not to compare Jeffrey's struggle with the struggle that we all feel, peering into the lives of others, constantly comparing oneself to who other people are, projecting our nihilistic views onto others, and generally thinking poorly about the world. Jeff's own prejudices cripple him in ways beyond his surface-level injury. At the beginning of the film, he worries that Lisa won't be able to handle his lifestyle, and that her sweet, polished exterior indicates a person who couldn't possibly rest with the harsh realities of life. But as we later see in the film, it is she, because Jeff is physically incapable of protecting her, who takes it upon herself to not only solve the mystery, but also tests her mettle in a way that is seen by Jeffries, thus curing him of his anxiety. Anyone who might condemn Hitchcock's objectification of the blonde love interest might take note that it is the girls who save the day in this movie, and the men, Detective Doyle included, are largely useless, bound by their own career ailments and career rules. And it is when Lisa, his princess in shining armor, leaves the castle that Jeff falls prey to his assailant, falls out his window, and learns the great lesson. His domicile is not complete without her. If you are curious, the real apartment on which this movie's elaborate set design is based was purportedly scoped out by Hitchcock historian Donald Spoto to be 125 West Christopher Street in West Village, just a 3-minute walk from the movie's address on West 9th. The next time you are in New York, take some time to visit these locations.